It's me, Paco, and you're watching Bad Witch Books. Guys, today we are going to be doing my February wrap-up. It is already February. I do not know where the time went. But let's get to it. In February, I read a total of 8 books. It was a very slumpy month for me. I did have my first 5 stars, so that's good, but I was not reading as much as I wanted to. I got into some reading slumps, and then I went on vacation at the end of the month. So let's get to the books I read. So the first book I read was my first 5-star read, and that was Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. If you don't know what Poppy War is about, it is about a girl named Ren, who she does this test that is nationwide to get into the top military school. She does it to get out of a bad predicament she is in, and to get a better life. And when she is in this top grade military school, she has to struggle because she is a darker skinned girl in a community where that is frowned upon. She is from a poor class where everybody else is rich. So she's basically at a disadvantage upon disadvantage upon disadvantage, and she struggles to make her way to the top of the school. And then a war happens, and the school she is at is a military school. And then she learns about the magic system and like stuff like that, the shamans they have. It's really good. This is very graphic because it is about it is inspired by the rape of Nanking, I believe is what is if I said that right. And it is very graphic. And so trigger warnings for that. I forget what chapter it is, but it's like infamous of the chapter. But this is a really good book, though. Besides that, I really liked R.F. Kuang's discussion of war and what it takes to win a war and what a war does to a person. So I really enjoyed that. I'm excited to continue with the trilogy. That is 5 stars. The next book I read this last month was... And I read the Poppy War for the Wonder Woman card, I believe I got. So I read The Witch's Heart by Genevieve Gorinch, I believe is how you pronounce her name. But this book is about the witch Agraboda. She is the mother of monsters in Norse mythology, wife to Loki. And this is her story. So it starts off with her as she is fleeing Asgard. And because she was once the witch named Golovig, I believe is her name. And she flees Asgard, and Loki finds her, and then they start a relationship. And then it's about like her and her children. She has the 3 monster children from Norse mythology, Fenrir, Gorgomander, and Hel, and how she tries to be a mother for them. At first, part of it was kind of slow for me, but it made sense because it was really building into the family dynamic of her and her children and Loki, so that the second half of the book would be more enticing if you cared about it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Agrabora finding herself, finding her power, and becoming the mother witch that she is. I would say if you like Cersei, read this. I think I do prefer Cersei over this, but this was still really good. 4.5 stars. Next book is the book for the book club I go to in person, A Song of Silver Flame Like Night by Milwei Zhao, I believe is her name. This book is about our main character, Lan. She is from a people that are a country that has been colonized by this other country. And Lynn has a secret power that she doesn't even know about, that she meets one day that is activated one day when she meets a practitioner, Zen, and they basically flee the people to this secret academy that trains practitioners to fight against the colonizing force that is trying to conquer their land, or has mainly already conquered it, but trying to keep control of it. I think those 2 big problems with this book. First, this is the second book by Emil Zhao that I've read that I just couldn't connect to the characters with. The first was The Blood Empress, I believe, is her first book that I read. Usually they say other books by the author in here. Let me see if I can find it. It's not popping up, so... Oh, Blood Heir. So the first book was Blood Air that I read by her, and I had the same problems where I just couldn't connect to the characters. And so, the same with this one. So I just think this author isn't for me. Second, this book is very similar to Poppy War. They do a lot of the same, like, discussions, and a lot of the same character beats are in here. Not that she copied her, but just that it just had a very similar vibe to Poppy War, and I was so enthralled with Poppy War that, and I read them like at the same time, and I was just so enthralled with Poppy War that it kind of hurt this book. So I don't know, maybe if I wasn't reading it at the same time, I might have liked it better, but I'm giving this book 3 stars. It was still okay, like enjoyable, but I just did not care about it as much. Like, it took me forever to get through it. I think this is the book that put me in the slump I was in for the rest of the month. Okay, so the next book I finished was for my Throne of Glass readathon, and that, of course, is Throne of Glass Book 1. This is the Fake Crate cover with Nehemia on the cover. So, Throne of Glass, if you don't know what it's about, it is about Selena Sardothien. She is the assassin of Erawan, who has been in a prison camp for over a year when the Crown Prince comes to collect her and is saying, hey, you can get a chance to be free, but you have to compete in this contest. This is very much the beginning of the series. I enjoy the series. This book I gave 3.5 stars. It was fun. It is very 2012 YA, so it's very much of that era, and I enjoyed it, but I am more excited to get into more of the series. But I do love this like cover because I love Nehemia. Okay, next book was my book club pick, my book club pick for the Enchanted Forest Book Club, and that is The Blood Trials by N.E. Davenport. So this book is about our main character, Inca. Inca, I believe. That's how we say her name. Inca. Whew. It's hard, bitch. Inca, she is the granddaughter of this commander who is killed or died, and she is still recovering from the death. She is like, instead of trying to graduate, she's more focused on just like getting in fights at the bar and things like that, and trying to drink her sorrow away, until one day her grandfather's best friend tells her, hey, I think he was murdered, and she is going to then compete in these trials so she can find out who murdered her grandfather. She also has this blood magic that is banned by the country, but she is trying to keep that also a secret. This book was really good. This is a 4.5 as well. I am very excited for the sequel. It was very violent, but very good. I love the mythology in this that N.E. Davenport created. Her world, the sci-fi blended with the fantasy fit really well, and the plot twists upon plot twists were really good. I am excited to see where the series goes, and I'm glad I picked it for my book club pick, because it was another win. I love that. But no, I really enjoyed it. I loved our main character. She gave me very big Korra vibes, because she was very much like just run in, fist up, like first, like no plans, just ready to fight. And I love that. I love that kind of character. It's fun. And I am very much excited to see where this journey goes in book 2. Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. You shouldn't have just leave me on. Okay. Next book we have was Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. This is the sequel to Once Upon a Broken Heart, and this follows Evangeline and Jack as they continue where they left off in book 1, as they look for the pieces of the Something Arch. And I enjoyed this series. I really do like Stephanie Garber. She is a fun author. I wouldn't say this is great literature, but I will say that this is just fun. I call it cotton candy reads, where it's like something I listened to this on the plane for my trip, and on the plane ride back, basically. And it's just really fun, something to get your head into. It's very fairy tale vibe. I like the way her worlds work, and I really enjoyed it. I do think this is a huge step up from the Caravel series, or the Caravel series as a whole. I'd probably give that series 3 stars. This is probably a 4-star series. And I'm very excited to see where we continue on in book 3. Evangeline is a really fun character. I love her. I love Jack. I just love the world. It's so fun. And the next book I read, I do not have a physical copy of it with me at the moment, and that was Far Sector, my first N.K. Jemisin book. So I read a book by N.K. Jemisin, And she does live up to the hype. This is another 4-star read. A lot of 4-star reads. We love that for me. And this book follows Jo Mulligan, who is a officer, or she's no longer an officer. She's an ex-police officer who, after her partner, her like police officer partner, basically attacks these people, and she reports him. She is basically kicked off the force, and she is offered this job to become a Green Lantern, and she is sent to the city where emotions are turned off. Like this city has like has different aliens aspects, species, and they all take this thing that like suppresses their emotions because it like might start a war if they don't. And she has to kind of be a police officer almost, or a Green Lantern there, and protect it. And it is like so far off from here that like she has a battery, or her ring self-charges itself, because Green Lantern lore, you have to charge your ring. But so it self-charges, so it's not as it's kind of as more powerful and not as powerful as other rings. But this series was really good. The mystery was interesting and fun. I like how N.K. Jemisin created this whole alien like race, 3 races, and the world didn't feel like forced. It flowed really well. I thought the world building was fun on that. Jo is a really fun character, where she's a nerd and she's really fun. Like, there's one scene where these robots attack her and she's like, oh, we're playing this. She's like, I just happen to be a giant mech fan, like anime mech fan. And she like uses her ring to create a robot mech to fight them, and it was really fun. Also, like, highlight of this is the art of this book, and the coloring is really done well. Like, it's beautiful. I love the like neon vibe that the colorer gave this book, and it fit for the noir kind of story we were getting. Like, it was like a sci-fi noir, and so the like neon colors really hit well with it, and it was really fun. So I enjoyed it. I'm excited to read more of N.K. Jemisin stuff. I've now like cracked that market, and it was well. So that's a 4.5 stars. Okay. The last book I read was Race to the Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is a middle grade book in the Writer in Present series. This is about a young indigenous girl named Nahi Niza. I forget how to pronounce her name. I listened to the part of the audiobook and I completely forgot. But basically, she and her younger brother have to save the world because her father is kidnapped by this person who she learns she can see monsters, and she realizes that her new boss is a monster, and her brother have to go on a journey to save him. And it is full of Navajo culture and like lore she has to go and save, and because she is a descendant of the warrior twins. It was really fun. I loved it. I mean, I wouldn't say I loved it. It was a 3.5 stars for me. But it was a really fun read. I liked our lesson that our main character learned. I thought the world was really good. And I liked seeing the Navajo culture represented really well. And, I mean, Rebecca Roanhorse is an amazing writer. It just I don't think it's my favorite of the Writer in Present books I've read. So I am giving it a 3.5. But it was still really fun. But yeah, so those are the books I read. Of course, Poppy War is number 1 for me. What was your guys' favorite read of the month? Do you have any of these that you've read that you have opinions on? As you guys know, comment down below, of course. As you guys know, my links are all in the description, along with my link for my Discord, where we have our book club my book club meetings are on that Discord in the voice channels once a month, and so are my Throne of Glass readathon chats. And yeah. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. That's all linked down below. My Amazon watch list, everything is down below. But yeah, I will see you guys next time.